Hello, fifth grade. So today I talked to you about reading a little story from our book, Think Positive. So I want to go ahead and read a story for you today. So it calls It Just Takes One. Do I have to go, Mom? My son looked down at a party invitation that came in the mail. It lay on the table between us. He picked it up and read it again. It's a week from Friday. I think we're busy that night. He smiled, a big smile, a hopeful smile, a wishful smile, kind of a wanting smile. I don't think we're busy that night, Logan, and I'm not going to make you go, but I do want you to give it some thought. Andrew doesn't have very many friends. Not any that we really knew of. Logan sighed. Okay, Mom, he said. I'll think about it. He stood, pushed his chair under the table, gave me a quick hug, and disappeared into the living room to build Legos. Logan was just 10 years old and was a thoughtful, kind boy, but Andrew pushed his buttons. Logan was sensitive, and Andrew was very loose with his words. Logan was calm and quiet. Andrew was very active. He often did or said things that Logan found to be a bit inappropriate. Sometimes when he shared things with me, Logan blushed deeply just to even say them. And though he would never really be unkind, Logan enjoyed Andrew's company about as much as he enjoyed a sunburn, or a rash, or an itchy case of irritating poison oak. An overnight birthday party would be a big, hard stretch. Logan and Andrew had been on the same Little League team. They were in the same grade, but Logan was homeschooled and Andrew went to public school. Twice a week, all summer, they wore maroon and black t-shirts and came together to play ball. They often warmed up together to play catch since Logan wasn't familiar with most of the kids and no one else would really play with Andrew. It was evident that Andrew struggled to have friends. He was that puzzle piece that really just didn't fit into the picture of the box. One afternoon, Andrew's mom sat next to me on the ball game. At the ball game. We kicked our sandals off and sat on the grass on my old flannel quilt. Andrew's mom looked at me through round, dark sunglasses. We're so grateful that Logan plays catch with Andrew. Last year, he had to warm up with the coach. She smiled, though I hurt for Andrew. I ached for what it must be like for him to go to gym class when the kids choose teams. Or on the bus. Did anyone even sit with him? It's nice for Logan, too. He doesn't know many of the players. But in my heart, I knew that it was a half-truth. It was harder for Logan to get to know the other players when Andrew stuck to his side like Velcro. I let Logan make the decision about the party the rest of the week. Then one afternoon, when we drove to the orthodontist, I asked him about it. Have you given any more thought to Andrew's party? I asked. We should get back to his mom one way or the other. Logan looked at me and took a deep breath. I think that I need to go. It would be so sad for Andrew for no one to go to his birthday party. I think that's very kind, Logan. You're thinking of someone else, and that's an important thing. We'll stop after the appointment to pick a gift out. Logan looked at me as if I had just asked him to eat a double portion of broccoli without cheese. He had the same look a week later when we pulled up in front of Andrew's house. It was his house. It was attractive and welcoming, though I could tell from Logan's tight shoulders that the curb appeal brought him little comfort. Logan lumbered at the door, backpack over his shoulder and sleeping bag tucked under one arm, and I towed his pillow behind him. We were halfway up the sidewalk when the front door flew open and the long barrel of a pop gun poked out. Better get in here fast or I'll shoot your kneecaps off, came from the boyish voice from behind the door. Now, Andrew, said his mother, that's not very welcoming. When the door opened fully, and there she stood, a grateful mama, lovingly welcoming the one and only guest for her son's birthday party. Logan gave me a smile and a hug, and I held him extra tight. I prayed for Logan throughout the night, that he would be strong, that he would be patient, and that he would be blessed and would even have some fun. And when I picked him up early the next morning, I knew that he had done just fine. Give me the skinny, I said as we pulled out from Andrew's driveway. Andrew did some things that I didn't enjoy, he said, but he also is great with Legos and he likes to draw. He was so happy to show me his sketchbook. Logan's face warmed, a little bit of a gentle smile. He's okay. He's not really trying so hard. I'm glad that I went. I think it meant a lot to him. Logan and Andrew continued to play baseball, and they hung out sometimes outside of Little League too. While they were never really best friends, in a lot of ways, they really helped each other grow. When Andrew's family eventually moved away, we were sad to see them go. And a few years later, my son found himself alone. Sort of like Andrew, without a friend. The piece that didn't fit. In the 9th grade, Logan transitioned to public school, where he'd just moved from a different community, a small community that wasn't used to newcomers, and Logan struggled. His quiet, gentle nature made it hard for him to blend. One other boy targeted him and made Logan's school days pretty rough. The others were not very kind. They just weren't used to pulling someone new in. Logan's most dreaded time of the day, lunch. He ate a sack lunch alone. It feels so terrible, Mom, he said. Everybody's busy around me and no one even sees that I'm even there. Logan's face had matured to adolescence, but his kind eyes were the same. The hurt in those eyes went straight to my own heart. And day after day, no one reached out. Until Brian. Brian was an upperclassman. He was handsome and well-liked. He was also very confident. Confident and kind. One afternoon, Logan came home eager to share, Mom, a guy named Brian sat next to me during lunch. He didn't even make it weird. He just came over and sat down, just right down. He asked how I was doing, and it was nice to not eat alone. Brian was also wise. He had invited Logan to his table, his senior table. Logan would have felt self-conscious, but Brian made him where he was, ate with him every day until he made a few more friends. He extended a warm hand of companionship and friendship to Logan, just as Logan had with Andrew years before. My son learned that all it takes is compassion, courage, and confidence to stretch into someone else's life. And sometimes others are willing to stretch into others. One person can make the biggest difference, he'd tell you. Sometimes it just takes just one. Chanel Iselin is who wrote this. So I thought this was kind of fitting because at the very end, I felt this kind of stuck out to me, and I felt like it kind of went with our moral focus for the month of compassion, where it says, my son learned that all it takes is compassion, courage, and confidence to stretch into someone else's life. So I selected this reading because with compassion being our moral focus word for the month, I think that this story definitely shows some compassion, where Logan had to show Andrew some compassion because perhaps it wasn't the number one thing he wanted to do was go to Andrew's birthday party. But he chose to do that because he was showing compassion that it would be sad if no one really showed up for him. And then in return, Logan found himself experiencing someone showing him compassion when he was kind of left alone and not sitting with any friends and trying to make new friends. So, story for you to take away from the day is to make sure that we're showing compassion during these times, because we have a lot going on and we talk a lot about that. Just make sure you're showing compassion to the people in your house and your neighbors, and just be very conscious of when you show someone compassion, compassion's going to come back around to you too in times that you're going to need it. So I miss you dearly. I hope you enjoyed the story, and I will see you soon. Have a great day.